Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sideline Sedo YouTube channel. So yesterday you will have seen my recap for match week 3. This is my predictions for match week 4. Once again, thank you for the support on the Liverpool rant. Thank you for any and all support that you guys show towards match week 3's recap video. And yeah, if you guys like the content, please like, subscribe, share, comment, do what you will to help support and help grow the channel. I really appreciate every single bit of it. I really do, because it only motivates me to want to make a better product. And I promise you guys, the camera is coming very shortly and the studio will be well worth the wait, in my opinion. So no more dilly-dallying. Let's jump right into the fixtures. Southampton 0, Manchester United 2. So coming off of this last week, we saw both of these sides win their games. Manchester United won at home against Liverpool, and we saw Southampton nab a win away at the King Power to Leicester. Ultimately, I think this game will play out with both sides playing a rather intense style of football. I think we'll see Manchester United ultimately come out on top, and we'll see goals from Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho in this game. I think Southampton will have some decent chances, but ultimately I think that the pairing of Varane and Lisandro Martinez is going to take shape even more concretely. We're going to see quite the tumultuous downfall of Harry Maguire, I think, in the coming weeks, because he's just going to be rotting on the bench effectively. And then I don't think there's much worse of a footballer that you can have than a rusty Harry Maguire. So that's quite unfortunate for him. But I think Manchester United will get the win away at St. Mary's 2-0. Brentford 3, Everton 0. So Everton visits Brentford, and coming off both their games last week, you had Nottingham Forest draw with Everton, and then you had Fulham beat Brentford. Brentford, they were in quite the heated battle with a team that I think, despite being a team that most people expect to be in the lower half of the table come end of the season, are a team that can really hurt you offensively in Fulham. I think that we'll see goals from Ivan Toney, Jensen will get a goal, and Johnny Da Silva will also net one. I just feel like they're going to be really motivated, and I don't think Thomas Frank is one to take a result like that, where they could have got a point at a difficult ground like Craven Cottage away, but ultimately it ended up, resulting in a loss to them, 3-2. But ultimately, I see Brentford playing really intense. I see them just from the jump trying to score and pressure Everton, and I don't see where the goals are going to come from Everton. I think that Brentford has a pretty solid defense against lower table teams. So I think Brentford gets the win, 3-0. Brighton 2, Leeds 2. So both of these squads have had really solid starts to their season so far. We've seen Brighton perform really well against the likes of West Ham last week, and we saw Leeds just absolutely thrash Chelsea. So I think this game will be one of the must-watches this weekend. I think it's going to be a highly entertaining fixture, and I see Moises Caicedo getting a goal for Brighton, and Trossard again, he'll score for Brighton as well. For Leeds, I see Rodrigo naturally scoring. I mean, at this point, it only seems like it's inevitable for him to score. And we'll see a goal from Jack Harrison again. So I think ultimately it'll be one of those fixtures that is just going to be fully end-to-end. We're going to see both sides really pushing for the win, and yeah, I think it'll be a draw at the end of the day, 2-2. Chelsea 2, Leicester 1. So for this game, I guess you could call it the Wesley Fofana derby, because as of Friday, he has apparently agreed terms, and the fee is just being settled basically, and he's going to be on his way out. He's been training with the U21s allegedly, from what I've seen, and ultimately I think that this game we'll see somebody like Patson Daka score a consolation goal after goals from Raheem Sterling and Kai Havertz get Chelsea on the score sheet. And then I think it'll be a game that's relatively boring no offense. I feel like everybody can almost predict that Chelsea will probably win this game. And ultimately, I don't think Leicester will offer much because I think their goal will come at a time that's, when Chelsea's guard's down a little and ultimately the game's lost, more or less. Maybe it gives them a glimmer of hope for the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, but I don't see them equalizing, and I see them losing, actually, continuing a rough start to the season, and they're going to have to look elsewhere to turn this tough start around Leicester. But I think Chelsea comfortably gets the win here, 2-1. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 1. So Monday was, in my opinion, one of the lowest points being a supporter of Liverpool under Klopp, just because the players really didn't seem all that motivated to want to perform. From the kickoff, Man United was okay, we're winning this game. They won it. And Liverpool weren't really at that pace. The quote-unquote mentality monsters, which kind of looks like a big joke considering that they've conceded 7 consecutive games in a row where they've conceded first. So that's a very tough and just nasty look for the squad. But I think they're going to be motivated to go out and win this game. I think we'll see goals from Luis Diaz. We'll see a goal from Mo Salah, and we'll see a goal from maybe Trent from a free kick. Let's say that. I think Bournemouth will score. It could possibly be a Jefferson Lerma shot that goes in just low and passes by Allison. But I'm gonna say that Kiefer Moore will score a header off a corner, and will eventually get them a goal. Probably when we're 2-0 up. Or something like that is my guess. But yeah, Liverpool really needs this win, because if we draw or lose to Bournemouth, it is code red to sign somebody. And I know Liverpool's got their whole transfer policy, but all squads panic buy when they need to. And I would say that if you don't get all 3 points from this game at the weekend, you need to buy somebody. Stressing the need, because at that point, it's going to be tough to even get a top 4 finish if we're not able to win against Bournemouth at home. No offense to Bournemouth, no disrespect, Cherries, but you know how it is. We're a squad that have been competing for 3 or 4 consecutive seasons for the title, and to have a drop off like that and all your rivals just so much further ahead of you and not buy somebody would just be a huge blunder in my eyes. Manchester City 1, Crystal Palace 1. Yeah, this is one of those predictions that you could maybe read in as a little biased, or even last season probably would have got me a million hate comments just for even saying that the mighty Man City will draw to Crystal Palace. But quite honestly, you got to give it to Crystal Palace. They've been playing fantastic even without Michael Olise. So once he comes back, it's going to be extra hot and spicy for them, I think. But I will say that ultimately, you got to give credit to Patrick Vieira, what he's been doing. He has a knowledge of Man City as well as a club. And ultimately, he's the type of guy that I think will really understand what it takes to play a solid game against Man City. But I don't think it'll be enough. I think Wilfried Zaha will score for Crystal Palace, and Haaland will also score for Man City. And it'll be just a really entertaining game, but I think both sides are just going to defend smart and just keep it at 1-1. But I think it's going to be quite the entertaining fixture. Now that I've predicted this, knowing me and my luck, this is a total jinx. And ultimately, this is going to lead to a 7-0 smashing from City to Crystal Palace. So, yeah, I hope that's not the case. I hope it's what I predict, and it's an entertaining, 1-1. Arsenal 5, Fulham 1. So, Arsenal's been fantastic to start the season. 3 games played, 3-1, 9 points. They look like a squad in true harmony, and I don't see anything stopping them. Actually, I think they're only going to improve this match week. I think that we're going to see goals from Saka, Odegaard, I'm going to say a goal from Martinelli, maybe a goal from Xhaka, and a goal from Gabi Jesus. to score 5 for Arsenal. And we'll see either a header or a penalty for Alexander Mitrovic going. But ultimately, I don't see Fulham at all winning this game. I see Arsenal being really motivated that they're the only squad that's won all their games so far and leveling up this weekend once again. Villa 0, West Ham 0. So this game is ultimately a game where both managers have a lot to prove. Not the best of starts for either Gerrard or Moyes. Moyes being rock bottom of the table currently. And I think that it's going to be a real boring one. I think not a single goal will be scored. I don't think that there's going to be a lot in the way of entertainment in this game. I think it's just going to be two sides playing really disjointed and sloppy football, and ultimately a general snooze fest at Villa Park. I really do enjoy both Gerrard and Moyes, but I just can't help but think that this game is going to be absolutely cardboard come the match week. Considering how many games I'm predicting to be high scoring, I think this is going to be so utterly forgettable that in a few weeks' time we're going to be wondering, hey, when do Villa and West Ham play their first game of the season? You know, like the first of two. And we're going to be like, oh yeah, it was a 0-0 draw at Villa Park. That makes a lot of sense. But ultimately, I think it's going to be 0-0. I hope I'm proven wrong because I don't like 0-0s. I don't think anybody likes 0-0s. So, yeah, nothing more to add here. Wolves 1, Fulham 4. So, Alexander Isak just signed from Real Sociedad to Newcastle for a whopping £60 million. That is pretty mental price tag, but it's fully expected for a team like Newcastle, who's now the richest club in the world. And if I'm Callum Wilson, I'm pissed. I mean, come on, he's pissed. He's been Mr. Newcastle for a few seasons running now, and he's actually finding some really good form. He scored against City last week, and I think he's going to score a hat-trick this week, and a goal from St. Maximin will also go in at the Molineux to give Newcastle a 4-1 win. I think Ruben Neves will score a goal, a traditional Ruben Neves goal. It'll just be a 30 to 40 yard, just casual strike. Not casual, but it's a casual strike for him because he does it so frequently, it feels like. And he's just going to smash it in. It'll go into the top right corner, past whoever's the net for Newcastle. I would assume Nick Pope. Sorry, Sir Pope. Hate to disrespect and slander, but I kept getting him and Dubravka mixed up just as the starting keeper for a while recently. But it is real nice for Newcastle fans, I would imagine, to have a guy like Nick Pope who's young. He fits the English quota for the league, and ultimately he's a player who can develop and really blossom into a proper number one for Newcastle and a proper number one for England. I think he's already that, but when you're that young as a goalie for a club with such a big fan base, there's a lot of pressure on you to be almost damn near the best goalie in the world. So ultimately, I think Newcastle win this game 4-1 at the Molineux against Wolves. Nottingham Forest 2, Tottenham 3. This game is seeing Tottenham visit a side which has actually won a European trophy in their history, and I can almost guarantee that that is going to be a point of contention and banter amongst the fans, and it's going to be constantly chanted throughout the game. But I will say I think Tottenham will win the game. It only makes sense that they win the game because of how well drilled they are by Antonio Conte. I'll say maybe Harry Kane, Perisic, and Son scored the 3 goals for Tottenham, and we'll see Brennan Johnson maybe get a brace for Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest might even take the lead to start the game, but Tottenham is just a squad that seems very determined right now. They seem like if they want to go out and win a game, they have the capacity to do so. And against a squad like Nottingham Forest, I feel like Antonio Conte will fully understand what it takes to beat them. And he's going to say, listen, guys, you need to beat these fellas if you want to win something this season, if you want to compete for something this season. Because if you don't, you won't be competing. and I think they're going to listen to his words of advice. And ultimately, I think this game will finish 2-3 with a Tottenham win away from home. As always, if you enjoyed the content of the video, please like, subscribe, share, and do what you will to help promote the channel, because every bit of support really does help, and it really makes me feel happy to want to make videos for you guys. So, as always, if you have any agreements, any disagreements, leave them in the comment section. I'll be back sometime early next week with the recap for this, and soon enough we'll be putting out a higher end product for everybody, and ultimately even more videos and new series will sprout up on the channel, and I'm really excited for what's in store. And as always, I'm Sideline Sedo. Stay gold.